Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy RHOA. We are back with another video. I want to thank you so much for tuning into the channel, and if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell button, because you don't want to miss a single drip drop of the news, commentary, gossip that we got going on this channel. Listen, a lot of this is all in fun. It's not too serious, but we got to talk about it because it's in the news. Now, if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram and Twitter, please do so at DJRichieSkye. Now, with that, let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. First off, we got to talk about Vivica Fox and NENE Leakes because they got a little thing going on right now, whether they know it or not. Then we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac, the most recent episode, episode 10 of season 4. We got to get into everything that happened at this Hoedown. Let's dive right on in. Okay, so first things first. Now, last night, right after the episode of Real Housewives of Potomac, we had Karen Huger and Vivica Fox on Watch What Happens Live. Now, one of the callers happened to call in and ask Vivica for her input or her thought about who is the housewife that always seems to get it wrong. And listen to what Miss Vivica had to say.
My question is for Vivica. So in honor of your long movies, which Real Housewife do you think constantly makes mistakes or is always wrong?
Is there a Real Housewife that you think constantly makes mistakes or is usually wrong? I have a feeling I know who you're gonna say.
Who makes mistakes and is constantly wrong?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna get in trouble. NENE.
NENE, really? You think so? Why, based on her behavior at the last reunion, or?
Just some of the shows, some of the things that I've seen, I've been kind of like, wow, why did that happen? And, you know, to see friendships fractured. NENE, I love you. I do, girl.
Yeah, you've been on the show with her.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Oh, snap. Now, she had to know we was about to get into this. Whew. Okay, Miss Vivica, tell us how you really feel. Notice she had to end that with, you know, I love her, but I gotta be honest. Now, my take on this situation is, I appreciate her honesty. I applaud it because I kind of feel like she just stated her opinion. And that's what these types of shows are known for, and that's what makes them so juicy. Especially Watch What Happens Live, because Andy can give a little mess, you know what I'm saying? He likes to kind of stir that pot up every now and again to get a good soundbite, and this is what he actually accomplished. Now, I don't even think that he thought that Vivica Fox was going to name NENE. He seemed very shocked, but it was almost like, ooh, spill the tea, girl. So when she said it, I was kind of shocked too, because I'm thinking to myself, I didn't know they had any type of issues. Now, maybe they don't really have an issue. Maybe she was just sort of saying how she really felt. But now it kind of begs the question, like, who is the housewife that never can seem to get it right? Now, I will say this though, based on everything that happened at the end of season 11, I can see why she would say what she said. I felt like there were instances in this whole situation, particularly after Closetgate, where NENE kind of took things a little bit too far. Now, again, does this mean that I don't like her? Absolutely not. It means that I can just see what's happening and I can comment on it with all sincerity, with no malice intended. But at the end of the day, you guys will remember, after the whole closet situation, she kind of went a little crazy. And then with the whole situation with Kenya and Cynthia, a lot of people felt like she just took that situation overboard. And I kind of view it as the same thing too, because I'm like, if you don't feel like you and Kenya got any real beef, then why are you mad that Cynthia brought her to the event if there's no real beef? I don't know, it just seems like a lot to me. And so I kind of feel like in this situation, with regards to Cynthia, I do kind of feel like NENE got it wrong. I have to be honest with you about that. I also think the whole situation with her and Portia was blown up out of proportion as well. So I kind of felt like she got it wrong there again. Because I do feel like Portia came to that reunion hoping for some type of resolution and hoping for to meet on some type of middle ground with NENE. But didn't happen. So you guys let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Was Vivica Fox right? Is NENE the housewife that always tends to get it wrong? Does she need to apologize to everyone on the cast? Let me know down in the comments what you guys think below. Now, let's get into the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 4, Episode 10, because this Hoedown was crazy. Now listen, this episode of Real Housewives of Potomac was crazy from start to finish. Once again, Gizelle is being messy all up and through this whole entire episode. But what I am thankful for is I am thankful for the fact that Robyn actually stepped up to the plate and called her out on it. I feel like this. A lot of them think that Robyn is being manipulated by Gizelle. Okay, and that may look true on the outside, but what I appreciate about this friendship is that Robyn can check Gizelle behind closed doors. She doesn't need to drag her publicly, so to speak, at one of these huge dinners or something like that. But I felt like Gizelle did owe Robyn an apology, so I was happy to see that Robyn did not back down from basically saying, girl, you was the one that started that whole mess at Ashley's house. I don't know why Ashley mad at me and not at you too, okay? So thank you, Robyn, for making Gizelle own up to her messy ways. And the good thing, like I said, the good thing about it is while Gizelle is manipulating things behind the scenes, it's nice to see her to be able to apologize for it and then quickly move on. You can tell she don't really take this or any of it that seriously. Now I want to talk about Chris and Candiace. As I watched this, what I recognized about Candiace is that just being real, like I see a lot of myself in her in terms of the way we handle confrontation. Typically, if I feel like I have reached my breaking point, I cannot stay put in the situation. So watching her and Chris spiral out of control because he is basically calling her out on the show and she's upset because he's doing so in front of the cameras. But at the end of the day, that's the reality. He is just being real, which is what everybody on the show gets paid for. So you might as well have these real moments and get it out of the way, knock it out of the park, have the conversation, because that's why we keep tuning in. And Candiace, you got one of the most engaging storylines this season. You are basically, for a large part, carrying a lot of the workload for this season, at least up until these past couple of episodes, because Monique comes out to play in this one and I'm excited about it. However, you're gonna have to keep living in your truth, girl, because at the end of the day, it's only gonna help you grow if somebody is able to tell you about yourself on television after you have taken an action that may be a little bit inappropriate. That's it. That's it. Bottom line, you gotta be able to learn how to handle those situations, stay in the moment, receive the feedback, receive the criticism, and then learn and grow from it versus kind of attacking back or running away from it. Similar to myself, I need to learn how to do the same thing, so I'm a work in progress right there with you, girl. And I know a lot of people who are watching this are similar to that. Comment down below if you feel like you're somebody who, when you get to a certain point in an argument, you just can't take no more and you gotta leave. I get it, that's how I am, but I'm learning to, day by day, it's a process. It's a process. You gotta stay, work it out, and cooler heads always will prevail. Now, so when the news broke about these allegations, it seemed like it happened real fast behind the scenes. It seemed like Michael and Ashley got the notification, or they were served, or whatever happened. This happened behind the scenes. They were struggling to figure out how to deal with it. And then when the news broke, maybe some days or a week later or something like that, that's when all of this stuff is hitting TMZ and everything. So, my question is this. When Gizelle called Ashley, when Ashley was out shopping with Katie and her wig, why does she act like she did not know what Gizelle was talking about when she clearly knew everything that was going on? So she acting all calm as a cucumber, which I get, but at the same time, don't act like you don't know, because now you look crazy to the viewers as well as to your castmates. It would have just been better to say, yes, you know, we have been notified about this. We're handling it in a legal manner. We can't talk about it, but I know it's out there, and I would appreciate it if you guys would just let us have this moment to get everything under control. Boom. That's all she needed to say. Everything else that she's been doing leads to more speculation and is adding more fuel to the rest of the ladies' fire. Now, I gotta give shouts out to Monique, and a lot of y'all say I'm always Team Monique. I mean, listen, I feel like what Monique is giving this season is straight up realness and honesty. And she's giving me very much Candy vibes this season for some reason. Maybe it's because she's threatening to drag people. I don't know. But I feel like she was being very straight up with Candiace in her bedroom when they were talking by themselves. And I could see that Candiace was getting irritated because I think Candiace feels like she's being attacked on all fronts at this point. And I feel like that's mostly stemming from her issues with her mom. Now, here's the thing that I don't agree with. Candiace, you can't bring your mother up and your issues with your mother up on the show and expect to be the only person that talks about it. I'm sorry, boo, but you can't do that. Once you bring that into the show, it becomes fodder for everybody else to comment on. And so that's why Monique was saying what she was saying. Like, you can't say all of these things about her and then not expect for other people to chime in when it seems like the issues that you're facing or that your energy that you're putting out there is really related to what you're dealing with your mom. So I totally felt Monique in this scene, and I was definitely here for her honesty. Now I want to move on to this good Hoedown, okay? Now, Katie, I don't know, is this the house that you were saying that don't have no air conditioning the other week? Because the other week you said that you was wearing the turbans and things because your house didn't have AC. I really couldn't put two and two together with how that made sense. But what I want to know is this big old farmhouse ain't got no AC at all? Is this the house that you, because I don't know. I'm just, as a viewer, I'm asking the questions, okay? And I felt like if we had been given some confessionals from Katie, then we could have gotten a lot more questions answered with regards to everything that she was saying with her living situation. But the farm looked nice. It looked big and it looked ready for a hoedown, so I was here for that. But I just had that question lingering in my mind because you brought it up on camera. So, having said that, I also want to say that I appreciate Candiace taking a moment to try to apologize to the group for her outburst in her home. I don't know that I would have apologized. Maybe I probably would have because, like I said, with a clearer head, a lot of times we can think a little bit, you know, like, oh, probably shouldn't have went buck wild like that. But at the end of the day, I felt like she was living in her truth in the moment, and I can understand your frustration with being angry when somebody does not leave your house and you have repeatedly asked them to go. So I get it. In this situation, I do want to make a point with saying something. I felt as though Karen was really trying to be on Ashley's side. But I felt like because Gizelle has stirred the pot behind the scenes and told Ashley that Karen had just ran her name through the mud, I felt like Ashley was already on the defense with Karen, and I feel like that's why she reacted to her in such a negative fashion. But at the end of the day, I felt like, honestly, I did feel like Karen was trying to find some type of common ground, but Ashley was just not here for it. And then we get the infamous line, clankety clank, the bar is soap, but help your husband. So, you know, I don't know, that I'm kind of team Karen on that one, because I do feel like Karen had the best of intentions. And I kind of feel like Karen's been kind of playing the background for most of this season. And I'm not sure why, because she's probably one of the most hilarious characters on the show. Now, I want to get into this whole argument with Monique and Candiace. I do felt like, I kind of in my mind felt like Monique probably should have stayed back and not try to explain herself again, because I feel like this is probably the third or fourth conversation that we're seeing on camera with Monique trying to help Candiace get into a better place and understand her emotions. But I just feel like it was falling on deaf ears because the girl was already sensitive. And I felt in my spirit like, ooh, Monique, you're pregnant. Like, I don't want you to be going at it with her because I feel like that's probably not good for the baby, but it was good for us. But my primary concern was the baby at that point, because I felt like it was getting a little too heated. But what they remind me of are two sisters who are arguing, like the older sister and the younger sister. I felt like that was what we were seeing in that moment, because I do believe that they care about each other. But let the Twitter streets talk, and all through it, up and through that episode last night, they was going at each other on the Twitter. So I think it's safe to say that we will not be seeing these two ladies on the same side of the couch this year. So there's that. I'm like the whole scene with her and Candiace was so intense to me. And then for Monique to come back and be kind of in tears and talk about how much she was riding for Candiace, and then for Candiace just to kind of run away, I thought it was a bit dramatic, you know what I'm saying? But at that point in time, I think that emotions were just running so high that it was just like the whole situation was a powder keg and everything was just ready to explode. I think honestly that's why I absolutely love Potomac, because I feel like what we're getting is real raw transparency from a lot of the ladies. You know what I'm saying? I would like to get a little bit more real raw transparency from Gizelle as well, because I really kind of feel like we only get a lot of surface with her. But I feel like conversely with Candiace and Ashley, the two youngest cast members, we're getting the most transparency, and we're getting their ups and their downs, their goods and their bads, which is why we actually like watching reality television, because they're kind of letting it all hang out. And in that regard, they really remind me of the Real Housewives of New York, and a little bit of OC in that way, but kind of like a blacker version, if it's okay to say that with you guys. So let me know what you guys think about this entire episode down in the comments, and let me know what you guys think about NENE Leakes and Vivica Fox. Was Vivica Fox right? Let me know. I will see you guys in the next video.